right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh,
Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh.
Love honors to the apostles and others, the great millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. All right, you brothers, y'all can see the title, man. Okay, Shalom, brother. Y'all just forget that. The title, I put pastor quotes Deuteronomy 21 to deal with you ninjas. Okay, because basically Esau, he's got it in his mind. As a matter of fact, somebody can hold Revelation, 16. You have but a short time, or 12, Revelation 12 and 12. You know what I'm saying? Because he's ready to come down and basically cut niggas off. You got that real quick?
It's Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea."
Yeah, it says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, okay, and of the sea. Why? Go ahead.
"For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time."
Right, so this devil, okay, Esau, Edom, he knows that his kingdom is at its tail end. So, what was his blessing? His blessing was the sword and the fatness of the earth. So he's going to use his resources against you, man. He's willing and ready to do so, okay? And basically, Isaiah 19, where it talks about the Egyptians against the Egyptians, all right, that's pretty much ramping up more and more as well. And you're having a sense of basically separation between Esau and Jacob that's continuing to grow more and more, man. Okay, even within this past month, right? There's been more dissension, okay, and less unity here in Babylon the Great, and that's only going to continue to grow. That divide is going to continue to grow. Okay.
I have some. This is Ezekiel chapter 21 and verse 8 and verse 9. It says, "Again the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy, and say, Thus saith the Lord, say, a sword is sharpened."
Yeah, basically, for any Israelite, so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American that is not gifted or have that mark of exemption from judgment on you, okay, that says the sword is sharpened against you, man. Okay, and what's the modern day sword? People don't use swords anymore. You know what I mean? As far as like in war, they use guns, right? That's the modern day sword. Okay, go ahead.
It says, Ezekiel 21 and 9, halfway through the verse, it says, "Say, a sword is sharpened, and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter."
See that? So you Negroes, man, okay, you've been slaughtered before, and you're gonna get slaughtered again. Okay, it's gonna happen again. Jacob Struggle was going into it over there, in the camp. Okay, how Jake thinks that slavery, chattel slavery, was the fulfillment of Jacob's trouble, and we don't got to go through no more chastisement no more. We don't got to go through any the nation of Israel doesn't have to go through that anymore. Basically insinuating that we're in the kingdom. Okay, but basically Esau's ready to take up arms against you Negroes, man. Okay, chiefly you Negroes, of course, Latinos and Native Americans included. All right, but starting with you Negroes. So I wanted to get, before we get anything else, I just want to get this, the reason why we titled this lesson. The title is, and it's reported in multiple sites. Okay, but this article is from rawstory.com. All right, published yesterday. It says MAGA pastor calls for executing quote-unquote rebellious black men, citing the Old Testament. Okay, and it has the video at the bottom. All right, but I'm gonna read some of it. It says MAGA pastor Brian Suave calls for quote-unquote rebellious black men to be executed according to biblical standards during a recent podcast interview. And if one Edomite says it, man, they all thinking it. He just was one that was, that just ended up saying it. Yeah. So you think he's just the lone outlier? He's the only one that thinks this way? Of course not. Okay, but let's continue on because he cited the situation where the Ukrainian woman, was, I guess she was killed or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, violently killed, right? Which, you know, um, what about all the other deaths that have been caused by the hands of Edomites since that short amount of time? You see, which Esau, man, that's why he's a hypocrite. As we're gonna get what is that? To play my statues. But let's read a little bit more on this.
What about Charlie Kirk?
Yeah,
CK, man. Yeah. CK Donkey Kong.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Yeah.
What about that nigga? That, and the dude that killed him, he Edomite on Edomite crime. See, this man is a hypocrite. Now he wants to so-called act righteous and say, "Oh, this is a God-fearing nation. We live by the Bible, by the biblical, laws and stuff."
Yeah. Well, Esau has always looked at you so-called Negroes as heathen, and he's always looked at you as the problem and as less than human, and basically like a pet, basically like an advanced pet. Like how you have a horse to, you ride a horse to get you certain places. You have cows, to keep the grass and provide milk and meat. Well, a nigga is just somebody that's a good worker. That's Esau. Remember, this is the foundation of this country was founded on people that thought like that. Okay, and you got individuals that are more liberal. That like to say, "Oh no, we've advanced past that thinking." But let Esau get this primal state, because really, the individuals that influenced, like the Northerners, the Yankees and all that to be more liberal was really, the United Kingdom. They abolished slavery, and then, basically up north they didn't need slaves as much because they got industrialized. Industrialization came before the abolishment of slavery. Once it became more convenient to use machinery than Negroes, then Esau, all of a sudden, he grew a moral backbone. You see, no, bro. It's just, you found a machine that can do the work for free, and it doesn't get tired. You know what I mean? It doesn't have an attitude. Shit. Use the machine over the nigga. But Esau in the South was like, shit, we don't need no machines. We got agriculture down here. It's hot down here. We still need them niggas. You see? So that's all that was. It wasn't like, Esau up north just thought, he just thinks different. He's just on a higher level. No. That's what he wants you to think. Okay?
Yeah. This is Psalms. I'll go ahead and get it. This is Psalms chapter 50. And I'm going to start at verse 16. It says, "But unto the wicked, Yahweh Shem Yahushua saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes?" All right? Going into the point, basically. Esau wants to swear in on the Bible, right? He wants to pull precepts when it's convenient, right? Netting Yahoo, right? Quoting, making war against Amalek, right? From generation to generation. He's quoting that to basically justify his slaughtering, right? You have this Edomite here cherry picking scripture to justify, the demonization of you niggas. All right, but what about the rest of the book, though, Esau? Right? What about the other prophecies that we bring out, going into who you are, what you be doing in the last days, man? All right, but let me finish this out. It says, "What hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?" All right, and really, it's a hypothetical. It's a rhetorical question. Really, you have no business. Because you're that profane person that the scriptures speak about. You have no business going into these scriptures, even holding the scripture, man. But that just shows you how low we are and why we got to get the hell out of here, man.
Yep. I'm gonna get some more of this deal here. This what's it called? Article, yeah. All right. It says let's continue on from this article. All right. It says Right Wing Watch reported Monday that Suave suggested state authorities should unalive black men according to the law prescribed in Deuteronomy 21 of the Bible. Deuteronomy 21, you know, the part where it says stone a rebellious child, right? It says the passage says that parents should take a rebellious child to the center of town and have the community elders stone them to death for being a glutton and a drunkard. It says Suave made his comments on a recent episode of the King's Hall's podcast, which he co-hosts with Christian nationalist preacher Eric Kahn. Suave and Kahn both preaching at Refuge Church in Utah, according to the report. Okay, and so, you know, basically, man, this devil, he's looking to, and I mean, he's got a kingdom mindset. He's like, yo, like these bad seeds, man. But he looks at all. He looks at, how do I say this? He looks at all Negroes like this, man. Let's be honest, because in order to be politically correct, you have to say, yeah, only the bad ones. But what is the purpose of addressing the nation, or the nationality or the ethnicity of black people? Because Esau believes that so-called black people are the most violent nation on the earth. He really believes that. That's what he believes, and it shows. Okay. Go ahead.
White supremacy tells you, and they'll use what do they call what do they call evolution? They'll use pseudoscience, but specifically evolution, to tell you that this is just the natural state or the natural mindset of evolution of black people in general. You know, they'll use Christianity to promote that. You know, Manifest Destiny is an extension of that. You know, saying that this is the so-called Holy Land, you know, a promised land. You know. So,
I got some I'm gonna continue reading on this article. This is quoting what he said. It says during the program, Suave and Khan, who are both aligned with, it says here, racist Christian nationalist Pastor Joel Webben, having made multiple appearances at his conferences, blamed the murder on black culture, referring to the Ukrainian refugee who was killed, you know, in Charlotte, you know, on the train. You know what I'm saying? It was on the lot, you know. So they're blaming that murder on black culture in general, like saying, like it's because of black culture, right? Basically saying that black culture pushes, you know, evil, pushes violence, pushes murder. You know what I'm saying? And basically that's how he looks. That's how he looks at niggas in general. Which I ain't gonna lie, to a degree, if I see a dreadhead nigga walking down the street smoking a blunt, yeah, I'm gonna think he has evil wicked intentions too. Okay? But Esau is the biggest hypocrite, man, because he's the one that allows for that type of stuff to propagate here in Babylon.
Revelation.
I told you. Matter of fact, we'll read that. Esau, bro. That I'm not just bringing. Esau hates us, bro. He doesn't look at the prophets and a nigga and you know, a blunt smoking, adultery commit nigga any different.
Yeah.
See, he looks at us all the same. That's the point I'm trying to make. Like,
Yeah.
see,
That Ezekiel 35. That perpetual hatred.
yeah. That's why he's gonna get put. That's why he's gonna get completely and utterly destroyed. Go ahead, bro.
This is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 10.
And after that, you get that Isaiah.
14. Yeah. This is Revelation 12 and 10. It says, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed."
Yeah, you see, because Esau's gonna try to lump us up in that group of, you know, mentally ill individuals that, you know, of our nation, you know, black people, you know, that you know, commit crimes. He's gonna try to lump us up in and say, look, all niggas are evil. All you niggas, which a majority, two-thirds of Jake, yeah, they're gonna get done away with here in Babylon the Great. Okay, but there's a remnant, okay, according to grace that the Lord's gonna preserve. Esau, he ain't worried, he ain't focusing, he ain't say, okay, we gotta worry about the remnant, like, let's not judge them. He's just gonna lump us all in one group. Okay? Go ahead.
It says, Revelation 12 and 10, it says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. And when you get that word accuser, categoreo, one of the first things that comes up is a plaintiff, right? When you look up that word plaintiff, it's a person that is accusing another person or bringing them up to court at law, like a prosecutor, and that's what is written. We got a multitude of prophecies going into that. But we understand and we see Esau for who he truly is, man, who is the devil. So we're not concerned about whatever false charges, whatever narrative that Esau is getting ready to try to spin, because we understand the true narrative, man, which is these scriptures.
This is Proverbs 11 and 9. And hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered.
Yeah. Esau, he comes up with these bugged out statistics, and basically tries to use those to justify that, these niggas gotta go. They're the bad seed of the earth. And in the book, Nature Knows No Color Line. Y'all know about that book? It basically talks about how in early days of America, like when we were in captivity, chattel slavery under Esau, he would basically teach that the black people are the sons of Canaan that Noah cursed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Basically, like, we're the Hamites, and he's he's Israel, and we're Hamites. So anything that befalls upon the Negroes, they had it coming because Noah cursed them. You see? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, that's what Christopher Columbus said when he came over here. He said these people were so, they were meant to pretty much be spoiled and to be taken, like everything was to be taken away, because he looked at the way that they lived as animalistic, ancient.
And that shows you the irony too of the story. It's a beautiful story because really you were the people of the Lord's curse, Esau, right? Israel is under the curses, right? We're under the curses, pursuing the Deuteronomy 28 in the covenant. All right, but you're labeled the son of perdition when you read the scriptures. All right, you're the only nation that falls under the category of the son of perdition. That's you. All right, and as a matter of fact, I get that real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 34, verse 5. It says, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea." Right, going into the missiles, the destruction. All right, from the chariots and from the missiles. It says, "And upon the people of my curse to judgment." All right, so Edom is clearly the people of the Lord's curse.
And by the way, we're not defending 2/3 of our people. We're not defending niggas and say, yeah, they should live, they're innocent. No, if you were a wicked nigga, man, all right, or a wicked Mexican, or a wicked Native American Indian, all right, or a wicked Latino, the Lord gonna get you. If you're wicked in general, the Lord gonna get you, right? Now, with that being said, okay, Esau, you are the father of wickedness. Okay, you are the seed of the serpent, man. So who the hell are we didn't get that in Psalms 50.
We did, but I
Oh, we
can.
did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, man. Who the hell are you? You're the one that's gonna get cut off. We'll get that Isaiah 14. You're the one that's gonna get cut off forever because of the shit you did. Okay. You were made to be taken and destroyed, for real. All right. So you're not no righteous judge, Esau. But the Lord is going to use Esau to be a whooping stick. All right. On the wicked of our people, as he's done before with other nations. In the past. And this was caught hell too. Like, we caught hell too directly from Esau. Even a lot of the men of the Lord, we would, read it. You read Hebrews 11th chapter. I mean, a lot of righteous men suffered, okay, for righteousness' sake, okay. But the Lord, man, Yahushua is coming back to set the record straight, man. Okay. Go ahead.
This is Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 20.
We'll get one more after this.
Excuse me. Verse 21. It says, "Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities."
Yeah, this is talking about Esau. Okay? Prepare slaughter for the iniquity of their fathers, man. Okay? Because really Esau, he's the one that needs to be cut off. Because in that video he talked about, if we had gotten rid of the great grandfather of the individual that committed this crime, he would have never existed. So he's trying to go back generations. He's like, look, let's cut off whole lines. He's trying to look, we gotta cut off whole lines today, not just one nigga. He's trying to cut but the irony in the fact that how about Shimei Shah is actually going to cut off his whole line. And jump down to the part where it talks about that.
Yep. Isaiah 14 and 22, it says, "For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts,
It's talking about Esau. Go ahead.
and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith the Lord."
See that? It says the name, the remnant, the son, the nephew. Okay? So all of Esau is going to be utterly taken away, man. Utterly destroyed. The Lord is going to burn them up. Okay? Esau is the only one that is not going to receive mercy. He's not able to repent, turn back from his ways and become righteous. No. Okay? He's the one nation that the Lord is going to utterly destroy. Okay? So Esau, man, you were an actor, man. You were a hypocrite, acting like like you were righteous enough to say, according to Deuteronomy 21, anybody needs to be. No, your ass is going to get cut off. Okay? And 2/3 of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the wicked of our people here in Babylon the Great, they're gonna perish with you. Okay? Thus said the Yahweh Shemel Shah. Okay.
This is because Esau wanna abide by the book. Well, what about this? Numbers chapter 35, verse 33. "So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood is defileth the land."
Yeah. Esau shed the blood of Gad. All right. He shed the blood of Reuben, the Seminole Indians. He shed tons of blood everywhere. Everywhere he goes, he sheds blood. Of course, he shed the blood of all the tribes, man. You know what I'm saying? The Mayans, Inca, the Aztecs. So he's responsible for all of the death. As soon as he came on the Western Hemisphere, he was responsible for the majority of it. He got an answer for that.
Right? And like you said, too, because there was a portion of time where we were supposed to be, destroyed and destitute, because he's known as the sword, the Lord's sword. But it said also in the scripture that he forwarded the affliction. He went a little overboard, man. A lot overboard.
Yeah, well, we were supposed to be judged.
Yeah.
Not destroyed completely.
Right.
And like you said, he judged us, and basically he took pleasure in it. You know what I mean? Like basically he got all into it. He did too much. Okay? To the point where the Lord's like, man, because he got proud, just like how Nebuchadnezzar got proud, saying, look, I'm the king of the earth, this and that. And then the Lord humbled Nebuchadnezzar. Well, guess what? You don't think the same thing can happen to Esau? You see? Go ahead.
It says, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Defile not, therefore, the land which ye shall inhabit, wherein I dwell, for I, the Lord Yahweh, dwell among the children of Israel.
Yep, you see that? So the land is not going to be cleansed until Esau's blood is shed. That's the straight, cut and dry point of the matter, man. Okay, and his blood is going to be shed by obliteration, ultimately, when he gets vaporized by the ICBMs. Okay, and of course by other ways, the sword, the wild beasts, various other things. All right. So we pray to Yahweh Shemel Shah that we stand firm. All right, in those times, and Yahweh Shemel Shah keep the spirit on us to endure to the end. Man. All right. So Lord willing, that was edifying. With that, we're gonna give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and others, the great millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.